Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. This is Crypto Update for Monday, the 28th of June. As you can tell, I'm in a new setting. There's lovely London in the background. It's not quite as sunny and beautiful as Bali, but I'm going to be doing my videos from here for the next couple of months and giving you all the updates every Monday and Thursday, coming to you about cryptos and cryptocurrencies and all the markets. Today, we're going to be looking at Binance and why they released that statement saying they can't trade from the UK anymore because it's a bit of FUD. Quick bit of market updates. And before all of that, we've got a quick announcement from one of my sponsors from the video. Let's get into that first, and then we'll get into the video. We all know how volatile the cryptocurrency markets are. And if you're lucky enough, you get to multiply your wealth rapidly. But we also know that it's tough to do manually, and sometimes you can lose a lot. I was thinking, how can I grow my wealth strategically without worrying about market fluctuations? And this is where I stumbled upon Delta Exchange, a place where they deploy machines to do the trading for you and earn you money. Delta Exchange has a very exciting product called Robo Trading, which enables you to invest your money via trusted trading strategies that prove to be profitable with the test of time. All we need to do is simply deposit our USDT tokens in Delta Exchange, then deploy those USDT tokens in the strategies and track its performance to generate potential dollar returns. Even while the market has plummeted, these strategies have got up to 21% weekly gain and 10% daily gains. This is as good as a mutual fund in cryptocurrency, but slightly better as it's being managed by automated trading strategies with well-defined and cutting-edge trading strategies employed. The best part is that it's currently no management or performance fee, and such trading strategies are mostly used by only successful trading professionals to trade, but now you can also use them to grow your crypto returns. The risk management is built into these robo trading strategies on top. What's more exciting is that as soon as you deposit USDT, you get a bonus of up to 2,500 USDT. You can showcase your trading wins to your friends and followers with just one click. Delta is a highly trusted exchange with the best investors in crypto backing it, and it's got enterprise-grade security, so your funds are highly secured. Don't forget, as I mentioned, use the link below and you get a 2,500 USDT bonus by signing up and depositing a certain amount of currency. Enjoy and good luck. Let's get back into the video. Okay, coin market cap. Bitcoin sitting at $34,225 at the time of recording. Today, it's in a bit of recovery, but we are bouncing between $35,000 and $30,000 quite a bit. If we zoom in on that, like 7-day to 30-day action, we can have a little talk about what I've been doing trading-wise and how I'm managing to make a little money whilst we're in this kind of bearish market. I don't think it's full on bearish because we're just going to be moving sideways for a little while until I think the end of the year when we're going to be seeing a really good bit of upside. Now, I've been setting my buy orders around the $30,000 to $31,000 mark, and some at the $29,000. Now, important to remember is not to always set all your buy orders at one specific point because you're basically all in or nothing. If it doesn't hit that point, you're not going to be getting the upside. So I've kind of been setting staged orders, some at 31,000, some at 30, some at 29,000. And they've hit quite a few times. And I have been taking profits as soon as they've been going up 10%, so around $33,000. Now I've managed to do that twice over the past 7 days here. And I sold at this point, and then here again, around I think my $31,000 hit, and then I sold again at here. Now that's making about 10% on about 20% of my portfolio. I'm not putting all of my money into this trading strategy. I'm keeping about 80% of it actually just in hodling tactics, because in a bear market or in a bull market, it doesn't matter how much you trade and how well you trade. The likelihood is if you just hold your Bitcoin, you're going to do just as well, if not better. Okay, so let's have a look back. Some of the other coins, Ethereum obviously has been hit hard, but back up 10% today. So it's seen a bit of recovery. Again, hovering around the $2,000 mark. Cardano at 131. It's the same story across all of the coins, to be honest. There's been a couple of big movers. Let's have a look at the biggest one. CeeLo is up 81% over the last 7 days, which is one of the biggest movers on the platform. And then Decred, which I actually did a video on the other day. I've put a link up in the description for you to check that out. It's up 25%. Interesting to see that move. But as I recall, when I did that Decred video, it actually decreased quite a lot during that week. So we're probably just seeing a recovery from the dip. Okay, so let's get into the first news, which is about Binance. Binance can't do business in the UK, but crypto trading unaffected. British financial watchdog. Now, the British financial watchdog is called the FCA, the Financial Conduct Authority. And they basically apply all the rules and regulations a little bit like the SEC. But I don't think they're anywhere near as kind of authoritarian, and they're certainly not as good at doing their job, because I've been caught a number of times by businesses that have been FCA approved but still been absolute scams. So you have to be a little bit careful when dealing with companies that have the FCA approved stamp anyway. But basically they talked or made a statement and forced Binance to make a statement that they are not allowed to operate in the UK. But this doesn't mean that British Binanceans can't continue to trade on the app. I'm British, I'm using the app, there's no restrictions. It's not the same as the US, which basically forced all US customers to not be able to sign up to Bitcoin, the main Bitcoin site. They've got much stronger draconian rules on the use of their banks and how their citizens can operate. But as a British citizen, I'm much more free to operate with different countries and different regulations in those particular countries. So this article is kind of FUD, but it is also true at the same time. So Binance were planning to set up a UK subsidiary, and that subsidiary is going to be called Binance.uk. And the main reason they were going to set that up was so that they could operate within UK and offer kind of like crypto banks and proper online banking to UK citizens within the UK, and have all of the rules, regulations and support that the UK government offer for banks. But unfortunately, they gave up, because the FCA they couldn't pass a certain requirements. The FCA basically said, they say it down here, that they were too close, or they couldn't pass the strict anti-money laundering rules that they had in place. So Binance decided to stop their application to the FCA. So Binance withdrew its application on the 17th of May because they had already planned to launch Binance UK this year. They didn't say exactly why they withdrew its application, but said it basically failed to meet FCA's strict anti-money laundering standards, which is what I just obviously mentioned. However, they were then forced to publish the following on its website: Binance Markets Limited is not permitted to undertake any regulated activity in the UK. But that doesn't mean that as a UK citizen, I can't use Binance, the one that's based in Hong Kong. So it's FUD, doesn't make any difference. It hasn't really affected the markets. I don't see people crashing out and leaving Binance. Binance is still the biggest exchange by volume. It's still the best, in my opinion. So nothing to worry about here, guys. We can move on from this bit of FUD. Now, I wanted to cover this article because it's important to always look at the two sides of the story, both sides of the coin when considering investments. Bitcoin, obviously, I am a big supporter of Bitcoin. I believe Bitcoin is going to change the way that we operate the world. I think it's going to give great opportunities to people, a much fairer society. I think it's very profound in the way it's set up and what it can offer. However, there are downsides to Bitcoin, and there are some very good arguments for why Bitcoin isn't going to become a currency and isn't going to work at solving a lot of the issues in the world. And actually, Yanis Varoufakis, from Greece's former finance minister, actually put it quite well. He basically said it creates feudalism. And this is basically when the few early adopters control all of the Bitcoin. And if it gets taken up by everyone, it's very difficult to then spread that democratically amongst everyone to have a fair share in Bitcoin. It only benefits a lot of the early adopters. Now, we are all early adopters. If you're watching this video and you own Bitcoin, you're an early adopter of Bitcoin. We are very early in this curve of Bitcoin having mass adoption. We've got one country, now potentially two, Paraguay, that's adopted it as a legal tender within their country. There is a hell of a long way to go. I see it as kind of like the 1990s in the internet. There's just a lot more innovation and fixing of the protocols and adoption to go before Bitcoin really is a fundamental part of our life. So with that in mind, we are all early adopters. However, Varoufakis basically said, Bitcoin's greatest strength, its finite supply of 21 million coins, is also its biggest weakness. And his argument is it can never really replace fiat because fiat needs to be controlled by the government, and there needs to be the option for the government to print more fiat when it needs it. And I do agree with that. I do agree that if there are financial crises, there's times when they need to get access to more money, they need to loan more money. Basically being able to print more fiat, excuse my yawning, enables a country to kind of like tax all of its citizens like a stealth tax and then use that money to put back into the economy and spread it amongst different people, different industries. But is that a good thing? I don't know. If you asked everyone in the country to pay 2% of their wealth immediately to fix something, everyone would probably say no. So it's very difficult to actually get that in place. So having this ability to print money whenever you want does give governments this great power. But what it doesn't help is stopping countries all linked together abusing that power. If there is a world based currency, which could be Bitcoin or store of value like gold used to be, that basically stops people abusing the printing of money and abusing their currencies. And it creates, in my opinion, a much fairer world. So I believe that Bitcoin will be not necessarily the base currency of the world, but it's going to replace gold. And I think we are going to go back to a Bitcoin standard as opposed to a gold standard. So more good news for Bitcoin here. Billionaire Salinas wants to make Mexico's first Bitcoin accepting bank. Now, obviously we're seeing these kind of South American countries, Paraguay, El Salvador, and now Mexico, very bullish on Bitcoin and really want to get this technology adopted into their country. It's in their best interest to do so because they, at the moment, are subservient to the USD. They can't really do much about their economies. They can't print more money without the USD value being massively affected. So it's in their interest to move away from the USD standard. And there's no way to really do that until Bitcoin came along. And that's what I think is going to happen. All of these I don't want to call it third world countries, but not as big as as the American and Europe and England, those kind of countries that can benefit from Bitcoin and benefit from not being subservient to America. So Mexico's third richest man, Ricardo Salinas Pliego, tweeted this morning that the bank he founded, Banco Azteca, aims to be the first bank in his country to accept Bitcoin. It's great news. I think that more banks are going to do it. More banks are doing it. There is demand for Bitcoin from clients. They've got to do it, otherwise they're going to be left behind. Michael Saylor obviously jumping in there with his pro-Bitcoin tweet. He's gone very, very bullish Bitcoin, and obviously he has put his money where his mouth is. Right, Elon Musk back at it again. He tweeted yesterday that he was going to name his Shiba Inu dog Floki, and then there were a shitload of Floki coins created. I saw a number of idiots on Instagram posting about them and posting how they made loads of gains. For me, it's very sad. You guys have got to get out of these meme coins. These meme coins, they're just gambling, and the only people that are winning are the people that are top promoting them for you to buy it. Now, if you're one of these people that are promoting to buy these meme coins, you're basically just stealing money off all of your followers. And for me, it just doesn't make sense. Just a massive Ponzi scheme. Invest in coins that do something that have value. Ethereum, Bitcoin, Cardano, these kind of coins. Don't try and time the market and gamble with these kind of absolute shit coins. All you're doing is basically delaying what we really need, which is Bitcoin to have mass adoption. This just delays it, causes problems, people lose money, and it's a nightmare. Okay, so Bitcoin's energy consumption has nosedived since China's mining crackdown. And Bitcoin has been consuming less and less energy ever since China cracked down on Bitcoin mining industry. Now, obviously, I've lived in China. We spoke about this many times. When China does something, they don't mess around. It's not like being in Europe or America where the government kind of like say, oh, please do this, and everyone has an argument about it. It takes a year to implement it, loads of court cases, etc. When China decides something, it happens almost immediately. So they basically issued decrees or whatever it is you call it in China to all of the provinces, in particular Sichuan, to shut down their mining operations, shut down the electricity going to these mining operations. And since then, around, I think it's something almost 40% of the mining power, our pools plummeted by as much as 37%. Now, as we already know, Bitcoin controls about 2/3 of the hashing power in the world. So this basically is good for Bitcoin. In the short term, these miners are obviously going to be exiting Bitcoin. They're going to be selling their Bitcoin because they've also banned banks from trading with people that are using Bitcoin. So there's going to be a lot of selling pressure on this place. But this hash rate is just going to move somewhere else. Now, the more hash rate we have, the more secure the network is, but obviously the more cost there is on electricity. And there's obviously been the complaints from Elon Musk and various people that agree with him that you're burning fossil fuels and that's bad for the economy, bad for the world. But any kind of technology, any kind of, certainly money systems, they take energy. Banks take energy to run. Everything takes energy. And I would argue that something as profound as Bitcoin is worthwhile the energy that we're putting into it. And as we move more and more to renewable energies, it's going to become cleaner, better, more efficient. So just don't agree with that argument. But it's great that these Bitcoin miners are moving away from China and spreading the hash rate to different places. One of the biggest places that they're moving to is Kazakhstan. So Bitcoin mining firm BIT Mining, which previously operated in China, has already delivered its first batch of mining machines to Kazakhstan. So there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of factors, a lot of things that are affecting the price of Bitcoin. It's not just a bear market. It's not just people wanting to sell because they're worried it's going down. There's the China stuff happening. There's the regulation stuff happening. But then you've got people adopting it as their country's legal tender. You've got many more banks coming online. There is a lot of factors that can affect Bitcoin's price and the various cryptocurrencies surrounding it. So what I suggest to you guys is to think 10 years from now, where do you see the world? Where do you see Bitcoin? Where do you see the cryptocurrency that you're investing? If you believe that it's going to have big adoption, if you believe it's going to grow and it could be a fundamental part of our life, then you should invest in Bitcoin. If you don't believe it and you're just trading short term, then I would be very hesitant. I would be very careful at this time in the market because no one is sure whether it's going up or down at the moment. I certainly don't know. I can only use my experience to make an educated guess on where I think it's going. And I'm only going to be right, 60% of the time. If I'm right 60% of the time, then I'm going to make money. That's the idea. But if you're only guessing and you've got no educated guess to improve that ratio of winning, then I just wouldn't be investing unless you're holding for the long term. Okay, great. That's about it for today's video. Crypto update for Monday, the 28th of June. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you click the like button, help me get the likes up. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. That would really help. And one final thing, I did do a giveaway last week, but the giveaway somehow got spammed. And when I checked all of the winners, they were all these random, you could just tell they weren't real people. And so unfortunately, I've decided I can't do the give out for last week. And I do apologize for that. I'm going to try and look for another system to help me do these give outs properly because the two that I've used already, they just getting spammed. It's so difficult to get them to work right. Anyhow, apologies for that. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and on Twitter. The links are all down below. Get involved with the chat group. I've got a Telegram chat group. Loads of stuff going on in there. And until the next time, I'll see you guys on Crypto Money Life.